Okay, so it's 7:05, so we'll call the meeting to order. I don't know, do we have a flag? Do we want to pledge? Yep, Lois is good.
Yep, Lois has her flag with her.
Okay, let's go. I pledge
Okay.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. Okay, our mission is to address the needs and concerns of our disabled residents and provide their full participation in the activities and services of Wakefield. And seeing where we do not have anyone else on the line, we are assuming that there are no public participation. The next order is approval of our minutes from May 4th, which Darcy had sent out after the meeting and then again just a couple of days ago. So everybody should have had that and had an opportunity to read. So does someone want to?
I make a motion that we accept
motion.
the meetings, minutes of the meetings for the May meeting.
Someone want a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so
Lois?
I
I'm
need to,
sorry.
because
Go ahead.
it's a vote, I need to take the vote on that. All in favor, let's say Marie, are you in
Yeah.
favor of
Yes, I am. Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Okay. Darcy,
Yes.
Lois?
Yes,
Yes, and myself, so unanimously, the minutes from the May meeting have passed.
Okay. So Lois, do we have you do have a financial report? Do we have any additional money?
same as last month, $11,566.29.
Okay, great.
We sent that out to you.
They sent it out this time.
Oh, that's good. So does in addition, we really only have 2 agenda items, so this could be a very short meeting. Does anybody else have anything that they may want to bring up before we get to those? No, okay. Okay, so I sent out, I'm sorry, Lois, go ahead.
Maybe I'm talking too quickly, but my one thing I was thinking about the reorganization where I just got back on the board. So we can reorganize.
Oh, so what you're saying is a
Yeah.
different chair, co-chair and all of that? Is
Yeah.
that what you're referring to?
Right.
Why don't we hold that till next, we're gonna have a meeting next month?
We don't
I-
usually,
Right.
I think that you and I came on in the fall.
No, it has nothing to do with that. After each town election.
Oh, after each town election?
Election.
yeah.
Oh, so when's the town election?
The end of June.
Yes, but you won't be meeting.
We don't meet in June.
Okay, we won't be meeting. This will be in essence our last meeting
Oh,
until
all right.
September.
Okay,
Just like,
Okay, so there's 5 of us, 1, 2, and there are in effect 4 positions. Darcy was the secretary, Lois was the treasurer, and then Lorna and I were sharing the co-chair positions. And
Can I not, guys, do you still want the same positions?
well, that's what I was gonna ask. I mean, if somebody else wants to co-chair, I'm fine with that.
yeah,
And so, it just, speak up. Again, there's only 5 of us. So if somebody else would like to co-chair, please say so.
You guys are all doing a great job. I think you should all stay in your positions. As the only person who's not holding a
I'm
position.
all set. You're
Thank
good. I
I-
don't want to continue to be the secretary unless someone else thinks.
Well, that's what I was just gonna ask. Does anybody want to do secretary or treasurer or switch or,
I'll be the treasurer. Let's just do a whole slate.
okay, and Darcy, you good? Paula,
Yeah,
would you
I'm good.
rather?
Right now, I'm
do-
trying to convert, the agenda came in PDF version. And so I'm trying to convert it to Word so I can type in it. So that's why but go ahead. Yeah,
Oh,
no, it's okay. I can do it. I have the, I have the program that will convert it, so it's good.
okay.
But if someone else would rather be secretary though, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Okay, so next time we need to send the agenda as Word versus PDF. Okay,
That's usually the way it comes. This is the first month that I received it PDF.
The
but
the reason why you received a PDF is because Sherry had to make a correction as far as the Zoom site on it.
Oh,
So
okay.
sent it back to me in a PDF form.
Okay, no, it's no problem. I can convert it. I just didn't realize it until after the meeting started.
okay. Well, let's first talk about the parking issue at the Galvin. We touched upon this at our last meeting. And I had received an email from Mrs. Edson. I think her first name is Gail Edson, shortly after the primary election. And she expressed concern about there being only 2 handicap parking spots. So I placed a call into Betsy Sharon. She called me back today. I was on a work call and I couldn't connect back with her. So I will connect with her over the next week, hopefully. And I think, I'm going to just explain to her that we've received some complaints and that when they start to have discussions on the next election, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussions, I'm going to ask her to make sure that she includes us in those discussions so that we can bring up the concerns and we have a say. I suspect because of the, current circumstance with the coronavirus that there's going to be abilities for individuals to send in absentee ballots and do a lot of this by mail. So this may end up being a moot point. But regardless, if they are going to have the Galvin open for people to come in to vote, then, we're going to have a plan in place for at least parking, and then any other concerns that we identify that we think should be made available for individuals who are differently able. So, Lorna, you probably have more insight into that. I know Lois, we discussed at the last meeting, ballots for individual with visual impairment. And I'll talk to Betsy about all of this because maybe some of this is in place and we're just not aware of it.
Exactly.
The town may be very aware of all of this and we just aren't aware that they are. So.
Yeah, I just don't, it would be nice to know, whether ballots are written in Braille also for.
All right, so that's one of the items, ballots in Braille. What other potential roadblocks might folks have? Lois?
They do have a special machine that makes the print larger.
Yeah,
Okay,
As far as the Optilex machine, they have a machine similar to that. And somebody would probably help the person.
okay, so I'll find out the process. If you are visually impaired, if you need to, call the town ahead of time, because this could be something that we put on our website, a month or 2 before the election so that people could just get online and see what's available and, you know, how the town is going to handle some of this. Okay, anything else? We have ballots in Braille and we have the Optilex machine. Is that what you referred to it as, Lois?
Yeah, they have a different machine at the polls,
But it's something similar to that. Okay.
very much so.
Plus in the primaries, you might have 4 different ballots.
In the primaries, you might have 4 different ballots
Okay.
September.
for
I think
September.
the other thing to consider is just to make sure that all poll workers understand that just because somebody has a guardian or a disability does not mean they can't vote.
That's right.
Okay.
Early ballot, absentee, you should can request early ballot. It's online now.
Lois, did you want to say something?
Yeah, if you don't mind, there is an early ballot. You can, available now. You can call the town hall and they can send you out a ballot so you don't have,
Go online
or go online. You can go and
on the town website.
on the town website or call Betsy herself and she will send
You
you
have
out.
to sign for it, so.
But you have to
Go online.
sign for it and go on.
I saw, they've been advertising that in the paper and I saw that. That's for the upcoming town election.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So that's,
Only 4 hours of voting, I doubt it'll be much.
the other thing is 4 hours for the election from 10 to 2 on the, pretty much, I think it's on the 23rd of June.
So they're only going to have voting open for 4 hours?
I want to say
10
that's
to
a,
2.
I want to say that's a Saturday.
No, it's Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday,
No,
okay,
it's Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 23rd.
That's interesting. I wonder why is that? Because they're assuming most people are going to do it ahead of time? Why wouldn't the polls be open all day?
I am not sure of that.
Okay, I'll find out. That's a question I'll ask when,
The town election, there's only like 1 contested race.
It's a town
Or assessor.
election. One person, 2 people are running, so
I see. Just for one position and everybody
Yeah.
else is unopposed. That's interesting. Okay.
assessor.
Okay, anything else that we would want to communicate to Betsy?
If anybody did not want to, is this for September again? Wanted a ballot, so they didn't have to go to the, to vote.
Or what?
That's late, will be later
September, they'll-
in September. This is for September that I'm talking about right now, that you can call up and ask for a ballot for the September.
Yeah, they probably don't have those
Right.
ready yet because they're still working on the town election, but yeah.
Right.
Primary
Okay,
ballots with many different ballots.
okay. All
Primary,
right, we'll try to get the scoop, and what I'll do is, once I speak with her, I'll send out an email to everyone, just so that you're, just so that you're aware of what I'm told. And then, of course, the other item, we've discussed this at the last meeting, the last meeting also was information that we want to put on our website that we want to send off. I've forgotten the woman's name. I have it in the notes. Who we would send some of this information to put on our website. So links, whether we want links on there or so much has changed since the last time we were brainstorming about all of this. A lot of information seems just like transportation and all of that is sort of not relevant anymore because
Right.
no one's doing anything or going anywhere. But why don't we just, I think, did I send you that? Let's see if I can move this here.
Oh, the list?
Yeah, it sent you a list. I'll just read some of the things and then we had, we've been having conversations on and off about our participation with Envision Wakefield, collaborating with the Human Rights Commission, learning about differences. I think we had those two women in from the Dole Bear and Greenwood, I think it was. So they know we're here, and if they want to collaborate, they'll reach out to us. I had a note last year, there was an opportunity to apply for a grant, the Municipal ADA Improvement Grant, which I have here that they do annually, and it's due on August 1st. When I had read the requirements, I don't really know that, I don't know that we have anything right now that we could apply for it. We had talked about a playground, but what I read for requirements is this money isn't for use for any type of equipment. It would be for use if we had an accessible playground, but we didn't have good access to the playground. Then we could apply for a grant to help us to build that access. So
I almost wonder if like the town can go for that grant for all of the things that are necessary for the Envision Wakefield project, for like the lights at the crosswalks and the special grading of the slopes and stuff like that. I think that would be something.
right,
Just
and it would be hard to believe that the folks that are running that are not aware of the grant, but
right.
if we get, an opportunity, if there's a meeting or something, that, I guess that would be a question that we should at least ask. Are you aware? Just to make sure, never assume. So let me write myself a note here.
Say my note.
Okay.
Dan McGrath usually has stuff with that.
Recreation.
Right, so that would be the recreation.
Recreation Committee, Recreation
Director.
Director
I think Mark.
at the America.
Yep, actually, maybe I can try to dig out the information I got last year and send it over to both Envision Wakefield and Dan, just so that they're aware of it, just so that we're sure they're aware of it.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
Who met with the Envision Wakefield?
I don't know that we've been we've been invited a couple of times, but I don't know if any one of us has actually ever made one of those meetings.
I attended one in the fall.
Okay,
2 or 3,
Yeah.
but they've stopped since the moment.
We had attended a couple of the meetings ourselves,
okay,
but we have stopped that because of the virus.
right. So I'm sure that, when they start up again, we'll be included in whatever meeting invitations they have.
Okay.
We'll have
Right, so we'll just, and then we'll
That
just
will-
figure out who can go.
I'm sure that will be advertised.
Right,
On
and then, another item was the CAM training, which was in September 11th last year, and Paula, we weren't made aware of it in time enough for you to register, but maybe we should investigate that and see when the next one is. And
What was it called?
again, who knows if they'll even do that this year, or this year it might be virtual.
What was that called again?
It was CAM, C-A-M, and I've forgotten what that stood for. I know that both Lorna and Paula had been interested. And then Lorna, I think you had a conflict, and then Paula said by the time she went to register, it was already full, so.
I'd like to check that out.
I don't know, so we'll keep that, because I mean, that's September, so, you know, we would just be coming back for our first meeting of the new year before, you know, so if we can get ahead of that, if anybody is interested in going, or yeah, if anything is even relevant to us when, this year.
I'm interested and want to know who you get in touch with.
Okay, we'll see. Paula, do you have any additional information on that, do you recall? Like a point of contact, or do you remember?
Looking, it was the Mass Office on Disability thing that I went to. That was last year on September 27th. I don't have anything else on the.
Cam.
I
All right,
can't.
I'll look and see.
Mass Office on Disability.
I'll look and see if I still have the documentation and if I can contact someone to see what the plan is. I'm sure it's all up in the air, like everything.
Right.
Right, then there was the Disability Summit. Is that what you were talking about that you
Yep.
went to? Yep.
Yep.
And that was also in September, right? I should make a
Right.
note of that. Okay.
And that was interesting because it was representatives from all of the disability commissions throughout the state, and just what different people had done, and then speakers from all of the various offices that interface with the commissions. So I think that we're just kind of forming and building, so it was a little beyond where
Right.
we were at that point, but I do think that there'd be helpful information for the commission and the town.
And I'm just skipping around in my list a little bit. We had talked about having that presentation by Jeffrey Dugan from Mass Disability Services. If we want to do that, maybe we should do it early in the season next year.
Right.
I can call him if you like.
Yeah, why don't you call him and maybe see what our October date is and see what his schedule is, and
Earlier the better, because he lives in River.
and who knows if we'll be still meeting this way or if we will be able to get back into town hall. I mean,
Yeah.
either way,
I'll call-
we should be able to be 6 feet apart, I think, in that meeting room in town hall if we
Might
have to be.
About an hour early for it, you know, but set that up.
I will call.
Okay,
We'll also, Marie and Lorna and everybody else, I'll call and see possibility of starting an hour earlier, only because he lives in Durban. So he needs to get like on the road. And I think he has a vision issue, so.
he wants to get before it gets dark. Okay,
Yeah.
so if we're not doing it this way, then if he needs to come earlier, we'll do our best to accommodate
We
that.
got informational brochure.
Okay, I can talk to him, and if he does have some brochures, maybe he can send some to me. But he can come and talk about them.
Right.
Best to have a regular meeting when they're there, not so-
Okay,
Okay, and then,
otherwise you don't need to fix it. On Zoom.
Post Academy, we had reached out to Post and WCAT, and everybody was on board. And I followed up with, obviously, WCAT several months back before this all happened. And we were going to try to start to get something together, and now here we are. And, you know, none of the kids at Post are physically at Post. So that may have to, you know, that may just have to wait till September till we see what happens if the kids come back. And yeah, everything's just all up in the air.
WCAT is also closed right now.
They are closed.
There's people there, but they're not.
Like minimal things.
Right.
So I guess, you know, really the only thing it seems like we can do right now is try to get information together, you know, that we feel we want to put on the, you know, on our website, on the town website. You know, reference material. We'll definitely put some voting information on there once I get it. And I don't know if anybody has any ideas of what, you know, I know, Lorna, we all probably have so much stuff come across. Sometimes I don't even think about, you know, I don't even think about putting it here, but I'm trying to pay more attention to that.
Maybe we could do some COVID specific resources. I know there's been a bunch of those that have come out for like family members who can access the CARES Act, and just different opportunities for like schooling for kids who are on IEPs, and where they can get some free tutoring and things like that if they're struggling. I have that information. I could pass it along.
Okay. Right. Oh, Lois, what was that woman's name again at Town Hall who does the website?
Jen McDonald.
Jen McDonald.
Yes, that's, yeah. Okay.
Very good and very friendly.
And I did find that CAM training, sorry for the delay, it's community access monitor training.
Right.
And I have the contact info, so I'll just send that to you, Marie. Does that make sense? Or you want me to reach out to them?
If you don't mind, you know, just reaching out and asking them, you know, what their plan is.
Okay.
Community access monitoring.
Yes. So it's just the regulations, the ADA, new construction, effective communication.
And
Okay.
where is that?
It was in Lowell, it looks like, last year. Yeah, and you were right, September 11th and 12th.
Yeah. This right. Okay. Okay, and
Sorry.
well, that's good.
No.
And I don't, you know, I don't know what else. Anybody have anything else? Is there anything else that we should add to this list?
Positions.
I mean, we just, you know, just to recap some of the things that that we have accomplished this year was we had a request for the handicap space on Princess Street, which got resolved. And then we had another request for a parking issue over on, I think it was Cedar Street, which got resolved. And obviously Lieutenant Anderson was very helpful in helping with that. A gentleman who was facing eviction, and we came up with a lot of resources to provide to him. The child on Bateman Court. Has anybody been by there to see what sign, if any, went up? I keep telling myself I'm going to go by, and then I get out and I completely forget about it.
I think there is, but I don't remember what.
I'm curious what the town ended up putting up there.
I went up maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and there was no new sign at that time.
Really?
Yeah. There was that still, but I can't remember what the name is, what said on that sign that was turned around. But what I did notice, which I was surprised, I guess there must have been a stop sign or something at the end of Bateman Court before going up the hill, because on the pavement, it says stop, and it has been kind of, like, bless you,
Thank you.
kind of covered over. But there looks like there may have been a stop sign there prior to this all. I don't remember. I mean, it wasn't, I know there's one on the other side of the street, but
But
not
there's
one.
no marking about an autistic child or anything like that that you
Not when
noticed?
not when I was up there last, no.
Okay, so I'll try, if anybody ends up going up there, and I'll try to remember too, just let me know, because if there isn't anything, then I'm gonna follow up with Lieutenant Anderson to see, the last conversation he and I had, he was asking me for wording. I just assumed that they had, put something together and posted it, but if they didn't, then, I'm surprised that the dad hasn't contacted us, but I will call Lieutenant Anderson to find out if there's nothing up there. Did they come to some other agreement? And Paula, do you know if the family ever reached out to Communitas for the full reach evaluation and whether they qualified? And
I met with them in my Communitas role and gave them all of the information, and they really weren't interested in getting involved with GDS at this time. They felt like they had enough going on, and but they have all the information, and they have my contact information should they want to pursue it.
Okay. All right, that's good. So at least they had it. And then, right, when school starts back again, we have the gentleman over on Greenwood Avenue who has some concerns. So, depending on what happens, he may, it may not be, may not be an issue for him anymore. I don't know, but we'll have to pick that back up if everything goes back and people are now, back to parking there for the commuter rail, because I think it was several issues. I think that the folks who work down at Post and who may just have shops down there in Greenwood are parking up there. And then the people who take the commuter rail are parking up there. So, we'll have to figure out how we help to resolve that. Hi, Lois.
Two things, okay, you can talk
She
to
knows what
Lieutenant Anderson, but before we leave the meeting in time, can we do the slate and just have it noted someplace that these people, if you people still want to have the positions you have, note it down so it's that we
Nominate them, then
nominate the people.
All right, so
that's official.
So it's official.
yep, we can definitely do that.
Because that's kind of, important.
Okay, so let's start with Lois's position. Does someone want to nominate Lois for treasurer?
I nominate Lois for treasurer for the next coming year.
I second it.
Okay,
Okay, let's take a vote on it then. Marie,
yes.
Paula,
Yes.
me, yes, Darcy,
Yes.
and Lois.
Yes.
Okay. It's passed unanimously that that Lois will remain as treasurer.
I
Okay,
can't vote for myself.
That's okay. We still
All right.
passed unanimously.
yeah. And then the next position would be secretary. Darcy would like to continue as secretary. Does someone want to nominate her for that position?
I'll nominate her. Darcy?
I can second.
Okay,
Okay, Marie? Marie, how do you vote?
yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. Lois,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
and I, yes. So unanimously, Darcy has been voted back into the secretarial position for the next coming year.
All right, and then we agree that we're going to run with 2 co-chairs as we have. So I would like to nominate Lorna for a co-chair. Someone like to second that?
I will. Lois?
Okay, so, okay, does someone second it?
Lois seconded it.
Lois.
Yep,
Okay. Okay, so Marie,
yes.
Lois,
Yep.
Darcy,
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
So Lorna has been voted unanimously into co-chair for the next coming year. I would like to nominate Marie as co-chair for the next coming year.
Second.
Oh,
Okay, so Lois,
Yes.
Darcy,
yes.
Paula,
Yes.
and I, yes. So Marie has unanimously been voted in as co-chair for this coming year.
Okay, then we're good. And we probably should send that to Sherry.
So they can correct it on the town web.
That also,
Yes, Lois.
that could also be corrected on the, or put on the town website.
Well, I think it currently is. I think if you go on the disability, if you go on our website, I think you see that there. But we probably should just send it to Sherry so she knows
Oh,
officially it's going to be like that for the next year.
oh yeah, the other thing,
I actually captured it in the notes too.
Okay, great.
also, the other thing,
Yes, yep.
could we ask to be advertised for 2 positions
The Sherry,
to Sherry?
Okay.
that can be brought up at a selectmen's meeting or council meeting.
And then it could be brought up to the council meeting to advertise.
All right, I will mention that to her. I know that they sometimes advertise these things in groups for different committees all together, but I'll mention that to
There's
her
only 3 meetings left till next September.
for the selectmen's meeting. Okay.
I feel like it had been advertised. I'm not sure where though.
They had advertised it when Lois, I think, applied. They
Oh,
had
okay.
advertised for this council and a few others. But it would appear that nobody, because I had asked Sherry if we had a limit to the number of folks that could be on the
No.
committee, and she said there was no limit. So obviously nobody else expressed an interest. So I guess that's something, else that we need to do is when we're out and about, again, had we been able to do
Intelligent Live.
Intelligent Lives, we would have, become more known, and
Right.
Somebody came on.
I think that would have helped the cause, but
Takes a month before they,
If something to be advertised, the earlier you do it, the earlier it gets possibly done by the council to advertise.
all right. Well, after this meeting, I'll send Sherry an email and I'll communicate to her what we settled on for officers for again this year, and I'll ask her if she'll do that.
And then the council will have to also work on that too.
Right, they'll have to put it out there.
The earliest you get somebody is October, even if somebody applied.
Yeah.
Because they have to leave it for a month so people can apply.
They have to leave it open for a month because it has to go in the paper and stuff.
Right. So they have to get the word out there. It's just so unfortunate that we're in this predicament and we can't do much.
Mhm.
But at least we're meeting on Zoom.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the correct way, but we're still doing something.
Yeah.
Just that we can't move like the,
Yeah.
the Intelligent
Intelligent
Lives
Lives.
was gonna be, I think would have been a big thing for us. Had we been able to pull that off, so.
Right.
And who knows? I don't know what next year is gonna bring either, so we just
Yeah.
don't know.
Got traffic advisory. You're on it.
All right, does anybody have anything else?
Traffic advisory,
No.
maybe?
I'm still on the traffic advisory as a liaison to
Can
the,
I? Information?
Okay,
can Dan ask a question?
sure.
Yeah, we're both on the traffic advisory. Lois will be the representative for the Commission on Disability, where I used to be. I will just be a member at large, but we'll
Okay.
probably be talking about that new project that might be going up the head of the lake. That's 600
Oh.
units. So we'll be sure to make sure anything ADA, accessibility and all that is taken care of there.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that's coming up. The Traffic Advisory Committee hasn't met since, I think, Valentine's Day. So,
Right.
Yeah.
There's a
Because-
lot of controversy over that, so I'll be
Yeah.
curious to
you know,
see.
what they got now is just a concept. There's no real plans for it. That could go all down the drain, but,
Right,
and, envision Wakefield and that, and a lot of stuff. The state is spending a lot of money on a lot of different things now. And, hopefully they can fund all these projects. Because the part that Envision that was supposed to be Albion Street, I think was supposed to start in May. So I
right,
don't, but we'll be looking out for accessibility problems. And not only that, with the MBTA, their bus line and the commuter rail on that committee. So
I
just so-
think a lot of the money the state had has been now gone to this coronavirus. So because, well, you probably know this, Paula, but, and Lorna as well, I was on a call with DDS last week. And that's basically what was said, that, this year, there was a lot of money. But, next year there's not going to be. And in just in the disability world, because of this shutdown, a lot of the agencies, and Communitas is probably one that is affected. You're not up and running, so you can't sustain the drivers for the vans and all the people that were doing all the programming. And DDS is just warning us that that's going to look very different next year.
Yeah, I think, that makes a lot of sense. I think the other challenge that we've seen in the past is that most of the dollars that DDS uses come in through sales tax. And when we've had all of the stores closed and restaurants closed and hotels closed, that's really all of the money that we rely on to fund variety of programs. So it is concerning, but I also wonder if that might be another opportunity for us as a commission to look at, in 6 months, what things look like and what we can do, since I know we don't want to waste that funding by any means, but it might be an important year to think about spending some of that funding.
Right, right.
Some other funding is the MSBA for the new high school. That's
Right.
funded basically, I think, 1 cent on the sales tax. And of course, revenues are way down, like Paula just said. And will that affect Wakefield's percentage of payment for the school?
Right.
Rather than be about 50-50, could it be 60-40? In other words, Wakefield would have to pay 60. I think
Right.
that's kind of a little up in the air too, but we have some accessibility, things to look at if a new school is built also.
Yes, yes. Yep, more to follow. We just have no idea how this is all gonna play out.
It's a new world.
Yes, it is a new world.
After watching TV last night, I don't know if it's a good world or a bad world, but
Wasn't that awful? It was awful.
Horrible.
No. No.
thank you.
Right. Thank you. It was good to see you. Well, if no one has anything else, I guess we can adjourn the meeting. I'm making up
I can make
words
the
here.
motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Second it? Okay. Well, there you go. I wish you all a wonderful summer. I don't know what we'll be doing, but
I'm not sure if I have to take a full vote on that adjournment, so let me do it just so that.
yeah,
Okay,
just in case.
just in case.
Marie, how do you vote towards the adjournment?
Yes?
Lois,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
and me. It's unanimously voted on to adjourn this meeting.
It's 7:52.
All right.
All right, well, we'll stay in touch via email over the summer and
Stay
we
well and stay safe.
yes, same
Yeah.
to all, same
All
to
right.
all.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. See you all
Thank
soon.
you. I'll
Bye.
send a note shortly.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks,
Okay.
Thank you.
Darcy.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.